Democrats are desperate, specifically in this situation. Jack Smith, just literally just happening right now as you're watching this. Jack Smith just filed a superseding indictment against President Trump. Here it is. This is happening right now. The desperation continues. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Trump poll numbers are already skyrocketing after this as they keep going after him. This is coming on the eve of basically an endorsement from Democrats like RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk. Trump has already formed the Avengers. Now these people are getting even more desperate. We're going to dive into what this means for Trump. We're going to dive into what this means as a whole, as the desperation continues here, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, you have Kamala stealing Trump's ideas, Kamala stealing Trump's policies. You have Trump agreeing to the September 10th debate on ABC. You have all this big news coming out. You have all these big things going on, but on the verge of everything else collapsing, we have Trump getting indicted again. So this is a desperation move happening right now. As you can see, United States of America versus Donald J. Trump, who is a defendant here. The violations, you can see count 1, 18 USC 371, conspiracy to defraud the United States. Count 2, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. Count 3, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct a official proceeding. And of course, count 4, which is conspiracy against rights. So yeah, a big desperation move here. Donald Trump's already going crazy in the polls. He has formed the Avengers. I'm going to keep saying that because that's my favorite word. But let's take a look here at the breaking news for those who don't know what's going on. Take a listen.
All right, some news just into us right now where the special counsel Jack Smith has returned what they're calling a superseding indictment against Donald Trump in that D.C. case. It doesn't mean it's more. It just means it's more focused, I guess. Jeff Spunt on all of that right now. Sir.
Yeah, hi, Neil. It is exactly a little bit more focused. In fact, the indictment itself, about 10 pages shorter than the original indictment from last year. So the same four core charges are included on this indictment. The reason,
guys, if this is not election interference, I really don't know what election interference means. If this is not election interference by Democrats like Jack Smith, if this is not separating the country more than it's ever been separated before, these people do not stop. Like, they don't stop.
That Donald Trump was re-indicted, if you will, is because the Supreme Court came back somewhat in his favor on July 1st of this year, telling Jack Smith, the special counsel, essentially in layman's terms, you need to go back and rethink about your case before District Judge Tanya Chutkan. This was supposed to go to trial on March 4th, but it was delayed because of the Supreme Court. So while all of these
So Jack Smith is basically going against the Supreme Court. Now, we know that Democrats like Jack Smith, Democrats in Florida, Democrats everywhere, specifically in all these Trump cases, hate that the Supreme Court has delayed and basically almost thrown out all these cases. Now they're going back at it again.
4 core charges stay here relating to Donald Trump, the man and the candidate. Some of the officials, like Jeffrey Clark, the former DOJ official, have been taken out, and this is a much more focused indictment. I also want to point out, Neil, that this is dealing with a new grand jury. So this grand jury did not hear anything about the other indictment from last August 1st of 2023. They only heard the facts in this case. What does this mean? Likely we're not going to see any type of trial before the election. Jack Smith, the special counsel, and Donald Trump's lawyers will be in court next week here in Washington, D.C. to talk about the path forward. But really, there would be no path forward unless Jack Smith did this today and really tightened up that indictment. And that's why we are where we are, Neil.
All right, David, thank you very much. I apologize, David. I was thinking of Jeff Paul's coming up.
So we got some more news here. Let's go to MSNBC.
Because we have some major breaking news. Special counsel Jack Smith has just filed a superseding indictment in the federal January 6th case. In a statement, the special counsel says, quote, "Today, a federal grand jury in the District of Columbia returned a superseding indictment charging the defendant with the same criminal offenses that were charged in the original indictment. The superseding indictment, which was presented to a new grand jury that had not previously heard evidence in this case, reflects the government's efforts to respect and implement the Supreme Court's holding and remand instructions." Let's bring in MSNBC legal correspondent.
Yeah, they are extremely, and I mean extremely, extremely desperate. Like this is insane. You can't make this stuff up. Like this is crazy.
Lisa Rubin. Lisa, what more can you tell us?
Well, Alicia, I can tell you a couple of things. One is that the Department of Justice, or rather the special counsel's office, in bringing today's superseding indictment, didn't change any of the actual charges against former President Trump. They remain identical to those on the original indictment, which was filed a year ago, or more than a year ago at this point, in August of 2023. But we are already seeing, just in comparing the number of sheets of paper, the original indictment was 45 pages long. This is 36 pages long. And so I expect once we start doing this page-to-page comparison, we will see the places where they have taken out allegations in order to try to comply with the Supreme Court's ruling. And in particular, one of the things that I expect will be missing here are allegations about former President Trump's interactions with Department of Justice officials. That is one concrete area that the Supreme Court hit.
Wow. Yeah. So superseding a former accusation brought by a grand jury that replaces a previously filed indictment and changes, adds, or deletes charges and or defendants. So yeah, Trump on the look, let's just look at how he's been doing.
Well, I think there's a tremendous upside. I think it's tangible and substantial. Tony Fabrizio, who's a pollster that I've known and worked with for a long time, is the lead pollster for the internal Trump polls, released a memo today going through the 7 battleground states that a lot of people have focused on, talking about North Carolina and Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia. And in every single one of those 7 battleground states, all of these RFK voters, RFK Jr. voters, break towards Trump. Some of them, Trump is getting 2/3 of the.
Let's look at this. Arizona, Trump 53%. Georgia, Trump 47%. Michigan, Trump leading in Michigan, which is just crazy. North Carolina, Trump 58%. Wow. Oh my goodness.
RFK voters, and he's getting about 4%, 3% in these states. And in a state like Pennsylvania, where it could well come down to, tens of thousands of votes, a half a point or 3/4 of a point, that may well make the difference in who the next president is. A lot of people have said that Pennsylvania is going to be the key for Kamala Harris. Democrats cannot win the presidency without Pennsylvania. That is the conventional wisdom. If RFK Jr.
So you telling me that Democrats are seeing these numbers, they're seeing RFK Jr. come on board and has so many independent voters, so many people that used to be Democrats. They're seeing this, and the first thing they thought about is how in the world can we supersede, indict this guy again? Like, how can we try to take this guy down? We have to take him down. Like, this is pure panic by Jack Smith and Democrats. They're watching stuff like this and they're saying, oh my God, we're in huge trouble.
Makes the difference in other states and Pennsylvania. It really could spell the difference in this campaign. This should be taken seriously. This is a big day in the campaign. And let me tell you, Kamala Harris did not want this to happen on the first day after her convention. She wanted to come out of there riding high. This has completely and totally changed the subject. And now we're back playing on Trump's turf again.
Yeah, crazy. Trump also released this ad. This was an amazing ad by the Trump campaign with RFK and Trump.
Bobby and I will fight together to defeat the corrupt political establishment and return control of this country to the people.
And don't you want a president who's going to get us out of the wars and who's going to rebuild the middle class in this country, who's going to protect America's freedoms, that's going to make America healthy again?
I think what RFK's endorsement really shows is that the Kennedy Democrats are actually more at home in the Republican Party of Donald Trump.
Today, I'm honored to officially welcome another true American patriot.
Whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent, if you love our country, as I do, if you cherish peace and freedom as we do. I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House to do the tough work of saving our country and serving the people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
That was a very, very good ad. So once again, breaking news here for those who don't know. Special counsel Jack Smith does this.
Smith has filed a new indictment. And welcome back. We're following some breaking news. Special counsel Jack Smith has filed a new indictment against Donald Trump in connection with his federal election interference case. To be clear, the new indictment, though, does not add any charges against the former president, but it does reflect last month's Supreme Court ruling that Mr. Trump is immune from prosecution for official acts as president. Join me now is NBC's Justice and Intelligence correspondent, Ken Delaney.
Ouch. Ouch. I mean, yeah, sure. Like, let's just take a look at how Democrats, this is Dean Phillips, who ran for president.
And I will tell you, said it before, I went to a Donald Trump rally when I was campaigning in New Hampshire back in the winter of 23.
Yeah.
And I was met with handshakes and friendship and hospitality and decency.
Yeah, because you should be a Republican.
I should be a Republican. Yeah. And I
should be a Republican. Yeah, this is that's Dean Phillips, Democrat, who basically ran for president and got outed by, of course, Democrats, the party of unity. I guess they say that that's their goal, is to unify the country. We got Jen Psaki here. So once again, this is a desperation move, but I just know that this desperation move is really a desperation move because they're watching stuff like this.
Was there anything, what did they think about Harris? Did they have anything to say about her?
They did have, listen, it depends on where you are. We went to a number of different battleground states in Pennsylvania, Ohio. We were in Michigan, Indiana, on our way, obviously, Illinois, on our way to Chicago. And it sort of depended on where you were. Pennsylvania, well, I shouldn't say Pennsylvania, I should say Philadelphia, was a bit more liberal, and the answers to the questions about her and him were quite different. But for the most part, in Pittsburgh or in at the Jersey Shore and in Atlantic City, in Ohio especially, many people did not know who she was. Right? They weren't familiar with her. So I think she has to reintroduce herself to the public. But for him, I think that they thought that he's better for the economy. And that, again, that he gave them, that he brought money into the community, and that, or that he was on Black people's side.
Was there any?
Oh, that's Don Lemon, former CNN anchor, host on MSNBC. He got invited to do the inside with Jen Psaki here. And yeah, I don't think she likes these answers. I don't think anybody likes these answers. So one final move of desperation. How is the Trump team and lawyers going to respond to this? We're going to be keeping track of all of this. Once again, Jack Smith going after President Trump again, this time. You know, and it's crazy because if you read the comments, like a lot of Democrats are celebrating this move, which is just insane. Like people don't understand how much this drives people to vote for Trump. Like people can't wait to, people couldn't wait to vote for Trump when he first got indicted, right? There's something big happening next month too. I think it's sentencing. That's going to be big. So, yeah, they don't stop. And we already know RFK Jr. is also dealing with lawsuits. He's also dealing with people going after him. Like a lot of people are dealing with this stuff, with the government overreach of trying to lock up political people, billionaires who are not on their side. They just go after them. And people sit there and take it, which is just unbelievable, in my opinion. So, yeah, insane stuff here happening, developing news. Trump poll numbers have been skyrocketing. Like Don Lemon said, a lot of people don't even know who Kamala is. This whole propaganda machine running her campaign is just unbelievable. And of course, they're getting some help here by Democrats and the government, such as Jack Smith. So, yeah, we're going to be keeping track of this, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to give you guys a quick glimpse of what was going on because it is insane. I will be back with bigger and better news and a bigger update on this. But as of right now, Special Counsel Jack Smith files new indictment in Trump federal election interference case. It's crazy. Isn't that what they're doing? They're accusing Trump of federal election interference, but isn't that what they're doing now? Isn't it crazy? Like, the projection from Democrats is actually insane. Like, Democrats really think they're on the right side of history. They really think they're the good guys. Like, I just can't believe it. They really think they're the good guys here. So, yeah, man, this is going to be a crazy last few months. Crazy 80 days left. I think it's like 75, 74 days left to the election. It's about to get crazy, ladies and gentlemen. So buckle up, smash the like button. Thank you for your donation. And yeah, we saw Mark Zuckerberg come out as well. Mark Zuckerberg came out and said that the Biden-Harris administration was putting pressure on him to censor Americans on misinformation. So that's a big one we got to talk about. So, all right, see you guys on the next one.